name is Risa Vetri-Furman. I am the co-founder of Mission Kids. Child abuse is this taboo topic. Nobody wants to talk about it. At Mission Kids, our mission is to ease the criminal justice system and to coordinate the community response to child abuse so that we can help children heal.
And Risa is L'Oreal Paris's Choice for Woman of Worth 2012. This is a huge honor. This is big time. And Risa Vetri-Furman making a beautiful difference, truly, in our area. So I want to celebrate you, what you're doing, and also, can you talk about this award and what it meant monetarily and just awareness-wise for Mission Kids?
You know, it is such a great honor. I mean, all of us know L'Oreal. I mean, from the time I was a little girl. I mean, I know the company well. I'm a customer. So there's that part of it, to just be recognized by them, which is such an enormous honor. The money that we earn for Mission Kids is a blessing. I mean, $35,000. There were 10 of us. Each of us got $10,000, and then we, for Mission Kids, got another 25. So it's a huge benefit financially. But I have to tell you that the greatest benefit of the entire award process was that the awareness that it brought to child abuse. Because, and we've talked about this before, child abuse has been in the closet for so long. It's this thing that people won't talk about. It's this thing that people don't recognize as an epidemic. And when it happens, it's just brushed away. You know, we're not going to talk about that. Let's just, let somebody else handle it. And because of that, as a community, we haven't been able to deal with it well. That kind of exposure has been extraordinary, not just for Mission Kids, but for all of us who are in the fight against child abuse.
Well, and let's bring in Sasha Joseph Newlinger, of course, because he's actually a survivor of this, who you've known since he was a little boy, and now he's making a film of his own. Sasha is on the phone right now. Can you hear us, Sasha?
I can hear you. How's it going?
Oh, there he is. It's great to hear your voice, Sasha.
Always great to hear yours, too. I'm really happy to be here.
Now, recently, Sasha, you were at a Mission Kids fundraiser on the main line. I got to meet you in person. But Sasha, can you talk for a moment about what Risa and what she's done with Mission Kids and what that means to you after what you've been through in your life?
Well, I mean, it's just incredible. Mission Kids is a one-stop shop, and for me, just coming out and explaining what happened to me when I was a child, that was a hard journey, just to be able to say, hey, I was sexually abused, but to actually work through for what was, just a huge process to prosecute my abusers. I mean, I had to tell my story so many times, again and again and again, reliving the trauma and the pain from those experiences. Mission Kids is incredible because, first of all, you walk in and it's geared towards children, just the design. There's toys everywhere. There are snacks everywhere. The windows are even lined with teddy bears. So right from the get-go, the kid is in an environment that's set up for them. But the fact that they only have to talk about what happened to them once, and then they can start to move on with their life. I mean, that's just huge, After I told, my parents what had happened to me, the abuse stopped, but, the pain continued just with that process of, again, over and over and over, telling the story to many different people. So,
and Sasha, if I can just interrupt, though, because a lot of people might not remember the case, even though it went on for years and years and years, was that, and I don't like to use the word sex because I think that causes confusion. You were ravaged and abused, molested, not just by one person, but there were 3 people over a period of time. This was something that you went through over and over and over. I mean, it's incredible that you are this inspiring person that you can talk about it.
Well, I mean, if I feel really blessed. Obviously, no one would ever choose to be sexually abused by one person, let alone 3. But the journey to kind of come through all of that after being abused and then prosecuting, 3 abusers, that took up my childhood and adolescence,
And Sasha, just so you know on the screen, because I know you're on the phone from out west where you work, on the screen we're seeing home videos from parts of your film of you as a baby and growing up, this beautiful, innocent perfect little child, and it's so unthinkable. And now here you are, that was him at a Mission Kids fundraising event recently. But I mean, it's just unthinkable, Sasha, what happened to you over and over, not by one perpetrator, but 3 in your life.
By the time I met Sasha, he was already past the physical aspects of the abuse, but I got to see him throughout a decade of what the system did to him, that the system that was supposed to protect him, and certainly not as bad as what happened physically, but torturous in its own right. And so for me to listen to Sasha and to see him as an adult, and to see that he has found that courage to stand up and speak out like most people don't, is really extraordinary. I look across the country and I'm always saying, okay, who's out there talking about child sexual abuse? Who is out there educating the public and letting people know that this really does happen? And there are just so few people doing it. And so, I mean, this was the very first time when Sasha spoke at our event recently, very first time that anyone locally had ever stood up, been counted and been acknowledged, and had the courage to say, this happened to me. We don't do that to victims of other crimes. If you're a victim of any other crime, you can just stand up and talk about it. But there's something about this one.
It's like a stigma or
where
something.
It's the embarrassment and the shame and the stigma of being a victim of this kind of a crime that people don't talk about it. And I think that's what's so extraordinary about Sasha. He's found that ability and that willingness to stand up and be counted. And by doing that, he's going to help countless other kids.
And Sasha, actually, this film that you're working on, that we'll put all this information on our website and everything, in the Mission Kids website, you can find that too. But what I find amazing, because I have loved ones in my own life, and as a relative, you want to say that scumbag, and you don't want to forgive them. And what's amazing about you, Sasha, is that you have forgiven these abusers, and that forgiveness is incredible to me.
Well, there were many years where I was extremely upset and angry, and I never thought that I would one day be able to kind of forgive, But the thing is that if you hold on to hatred, that just perpetuates the pain, and if you do that, you can't move forward with your life, even if in every other facet of the pain and the abuse, you've come to terms with it. If you don't allow yourself to let go of that anger and that rage from what happened to you, then it still is a part of your life, and I don't want it to be something that's negative in my life. I want to be able to move on and spread understanding and awareness of what this is. And in order to do that, I can't be an angry person. You know what I mean?
I do. Sasha, thank you so much. And Reese, I want to thank you. I feel like this is just the beginning of our conversation, because we need to have you back. We need to talk about what the task force is doing that started in November. Laws are changing, and you're making these huge changes.
You know what, I'm just one piece of it, and I'm delighted to be a piece of it, because to me it's so important, and I will be delighted to come back and talk to you about everything that's happening both in Pennsylvania and beyond. I think a lot of things that have happened, particularly in Pennsylvania, some of these high-profile cases, they've shined a light on this, and it's our responsibility now to take that further and to make sure that we don't just throw this back into a closet, that we have the courage to stand up and to fight for the kids who have been hurt, to recognize what they're going through, and find the ways to help them heal like Sasha has.
Larissa, thank you so much, and Sasha, thank you so much. And it's just like we say about terrorism, if you see something, say something. It's really up to each and every one of us. If you're a teacher, a mom, a dad, you've got to say something. So I hope that you do, and we'll fight this together. Just ahead, I'm focusing on another epidemic that is the leading cause of disease and death among Americans. Here for some local top docs in the fight against fat. We'll be right back.